Deep Threat Sports Network fans, hey, it is showtime. The time has come, and conference championship weekend is here. We just talked to you guys last week about how the regular season, it's come to an end. It's time to start talking about these conference championship games, the games that matter. Not that the other games didn't matter, but some of these games really have a lot of implications on them, and it's time to flat get after it here. So looking forward to having this conversation with the fellas tonight on tonight's episode. Obviously, we're going to do our main game preview like we always do, and as you can probably guess, it's going to be a lot of the more important conference championship games you might find yourself listening to in Ohio State, Indiana, quickie at the end, because really that game doesn't necessarily mean a whole hell of a lot. It's going to be a great game. It's a game we want to watch. It's a game where those two teams are trying to prove a point who was the best team throughout the whole entire season and playing for the 1 seed. But let's be realistic. That game really doesn't mean a whole lot. So what we're going to do at the beginning of this episode is we're going to give you a full playoff review of the rankings that just came out per ESPN for the CFP. And then we're going to dive into that conversation a little bit ourselves and see what we kind of have in store, what we are going to be listening to and watching for the weekend. So tonight, you have Dave, Bryant, Nolan, and myself. Fellas, since we're quad box tonight, I'm not going to ask y'all how you're doing because we're all going to say good at the same time. So what we're going to do first instead is we're going to truly just get right down to business and talk these playoffs. So first things first, if you're here with us on YouTube, I am going to throw up the playoff bracket and what it looks like as of right now. And if you don't know, now you know there's about to be some serious conversations surrounding this ACC championship game. There's going to be a lot of serious conversations surrounding what is going to happen with JMU now being at number 25, Duke not being ranked. What's going to happen with North Texas and Tulane? The bracket is in front of you. We did get this from ESPN, so going to give credit to ESPN on this one. Using their bracket, we couldn't create one that looks quite that good, so we had to go ahead and take this one. But as you see here, the first 4 teams in this that are getting a bye as of now: Ohio State, Indiana, Georgia, Texas Tech. Gentlemen, were any of you surprised by those 4? Because this was obviously a layup in my mind of who these 4 were going to be.
Not at all.
No, that's where it should be.
Yep, couldn't agree more. So then we had a conversation on our Monday episode, and that seems like it was quite a ways away now for some reason. But Bryant, wasn't that just you and I on Monday?
Yes.
Okay, so Bryant and I had extensive conversations and had a little bit of a disagreement where Texas A&M fell. I thought they fell closer to 9. Brian, I think, said number 7. So Brian hit the nail on the head with Texas A&M sliding in at number 7.
I know what I'm talking about.
Yes, you do. But I did think of the world where they fell all the way back to 9. So are we surprised that Oregon's 5, Ole Miss is 6, Texas A&M 7, and Oklahoma 8? Because those are the 4 teams that are going to be hosting the home playoff game.
I think that lines up pretty well. I mean, I think if anything, I'm sorry, but I would take Alabama ahead of Oklahoma. Like, I think Alabama's a better team than Oklahoma by a long shot.
But the problem with that is Oklahoma beat Alabama, so that's why they did the 8-9 thing there.
Yeah, but
apparently it doesn't matter because Miami is nowhere to be found, and they beat Notre Dame. So why is Notre Dame on here?
That's a good point.
Hey, that's only the tip of the iceberg with this
That was week
conversation.
1.
I don't care.
Hey, Oklahoma was great.
Let's not call Ohio State's good win against Texas then.
Yeah,
that was week 1.
Hey, week 1 matters too, Brian.
Yes, it does.
Listen, my thing is Oklahoma has been a significantly – I'm not going to say worse. They've not been as good of a team since the injury.
No, call a spade a spade. Oklahoma's offense is dog shit.
Yep.
Hey, I agree.
They are the
man. Like I get that Oklahoma beat Alabama, but at the same time, like you got to really look. Like I'm sorry, but like I'm not putting my money on Oklahoma on a second game against Alabama. No shot.
No, we talked about this the other day. That
you know what? I think I would take Notre Dame over Oklahoma, and I'm not the biggest fan of Notre Dame.
No questions asked. No.
Their
defense
is too good, dude. CJ Carr and Ty Simpson both not great against the blitz. What does Oklahoma do? Blitz from every angle. The quarterbacks can't figure it out. I will take them in a dogfight, winning 17-14.
Well, barn burner there. I mean, it would be a good game. So while we're talking about that, let's do the 9, 10, 11, 12. 9 Alabama, Notre Dame 10. Conference champ. This is how dicey it is right now. conference champ number 4 at the 11th seed, conference champ number 5 at the 12th seed. Notice how we don't have teams at the 11 and 12 spot because Virginia and Duke, neither one are good. Virginia is ranked, but not good. And conference champ number 5, which is usually going to be that G5 spot, we have a team in North Texas, Tulane, and JMU all playing for that spot. So let's just go ahead and throw up the whole entire rankings of the CFP. And let's explain this a little bit to the people that this may not make sense to, that don't necessarily follow this as closely as we do. So we're gonna kind of dumb this down a little bit so it makes sense. Where we're looking at right now is if Duke beats Virginia in the ACC championship game, Virginia would then slide down in the rankings and not be a conference champ. So Virginia is out of the playoffs if Duke beats them. Duke, what are they, 8-4 with 4 losses, is an unranked team right now. I don't anticipate Duke beating Virginia, getting a high enough ranking in the CFP to jump JMU, who is a 23-point favorite to Troy, or North Texas if they beat Tulane, which then means the ACC does not have a representative in the playoffs if the dominoes fall, kind of according to plan and according to how the spreads are looking right now. So, Bryant, what does that even make any sense at all that we're going to leave the ACC out?
I mean, it makes total sense that they had their shot all season to prove there are a couple of teams to kind of fight for the top spot there, and it's been a battle of mid, honestly, in the ACC. And so this is what happens. Your highest ranked team is Miami, but they're not even playing in the conference championship, so they're literally at the hopes of the committee. And then you got Virginia and then Duke, like you said. So yeah, I mean, they're reaping the rewards of what they did this season by not being competitive conference, at least at the top.
Yeah.
But here's my thing, though, and we kind of talked about it a little bit earlier before we logged on. I get your point. I don't think any team in the ACC deserves to get in, but at the same time, like, I keep going through JMU's schedule, and guys, they have not played anybody better than Valley Catholic. I mean, they have not played anybody good. The only good team they played was Louisville, and they lost to them. And Louisville's 8-4, and they lost. I mean, other than that, I mean, let me just go through the list of who they have played. Louisville, which they lost to. Liberty, which we thought they were going to be good, but they ended up not being that good.
They're horrible.
Georgia Southern, Georgia State, Louisiana, not LSU, Louisiana, Old Dominion, Texas State, Marshall, App State, Washington State, and then Coastal Carolina. Does that schedule, is that more impressive than, let's say a Duke or Virginia that plays a little bit harder teams? I'm not saying they deserve it, but I don't think JMU deserves it more than they do.
It's not even close, but we're just following the rules at this point with them.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I just feel
the
like
committee, when they made these rules, they never thought that the ACC or whoever would not be one of the 4, and then the G5 packed in at the 5th. This is an unforeseen scenario.
Nolan, what do you got? You're the ACC guy here.
Well, the other thing is, people might ask, if Duke wins, why can't they just be the ACC representative? I just looked up to make sure they don't even receive zero. They receive 0 votes at all to be inside the top 25 in the AP poll. So it's not like they're just on the outside. They're not at like number 26, 28, 29. They are far enough down because as I'm looking through this list here, there's about 10, 15 teams that they list that received votes that didn't make the top 25.
Yeah,
so they are outside of the top 40 in the AP poll. There's no way they're jumping from 40 to 25 with a win over what they consider the 17 best team in the nation.
It's bad. When we talked about it kind of the last 3-4 weeks, right? The ACC is setting up for complete and utter failure.
Yeah.
They played themselves, and that's exactly what happened. So we talked about that a little bit. So what I had down here in our notes a little bit is Duke wins. They're in, question mark. We have discussed that we think Duke wins and they're out, okay?
Yes.
That would mean Virginia is out as well. Yep. Next question is is if Virginia wins, then they're in, right? I mean, they're a higher ranked conference champ as it sits already than North Texas, Tulane, and JMU are all the teams that are playing in the conference championship.
The easy button for this is if Virginia wins, they're in, and then it's the winner of Tulane and North Texas, and we're done.
Yep. Yes. So, question here. BYU plays Texas Tech in the Big 12 championship. If BYU loses, are they in?
No.
So we're going to punish them and have the same – they're going to be an 11-2 team. Are we going to punish them for losing their Big 12 championship game and leave Notre Dame in over them?
I'm of the opinion I'm not sure Notre Dame should be in it.
I agree.
If we're going to reward teams for making it to the conference championship game, I cannot reward Notre Dame for making it to a conference championship game. They choose not to be in a conference. But by the same token, can you take that away from them? I think it's probably going to depend how the game comes down. If it's like it was last time and BYU loses, no shot. They will never get in.
Yep.
It was a beatdown last game. If it's a last-second field goal that Texas Tech wins, that's when I think you have some serious arguments. But I think this goes back to 3 or 4 weeks ago when Notre Dame did not deserve to be ranked at 10 at the very first rankings came out. They pigeonholed themselves into Notre Dame has to stay in.
So the way I look at this is if BYU wins or loses, let's say it's close. You put BYU in and Notre Dame out, that eliminates the Miami-Notre Dame conversation.
I don't think they care about that, though.
Yeah, I don't think the committee is going to give a whole lot of emphasis on the outcome of this weekend's games. I think it's going to be more dependent on how so like if BYU gets blown out, they're not going to put a ton on the game, but they're going to do the eye test a little bit on how they look.
Yes, it's an eye test, and I think they do care because they kept Alabama out last year for SMU when SMU lost to Clemson. Nobody in the world thought that was going to happen.
I think Clemson played themselves into it rather than Alabama playing themselves out of it last year.
Oh,
Clemson
correct.
won, and they stole the bid from Alabama is what happened. If SMU would have won, Alabama was in, no problem.
So correct, but what I'm saying is if BYU plays their way into it because they play well enough, then the same situation could happen, right?
I think they're well enough has to be a win is what I'm saying.
Okay. All right. I can get on board with that. I'm just trying to dice this up.
I'm just saying from the very first rankings, when they put Notre Dame at 10, they likely did not deserve to be there because they had no real good wins at that point, if I remember correctly. If they did, they had one good win. That might have been the USC win. But they had 2 close losses is why they were propped up so high. If you are so adamant on Notre Dame getting into it as the playoff committee, put them down at 15, and then as the weeks go by, move them to 15, to 14, to 13 if teams above them start losing. I think this is a problem when the first bracket came out and they had Notre Dame at 10. If Notre Dame doesn't lose, you can't penalize them. So you can't move them down. That's the real problem with the Notre Dame situation right now.
Notre Dame went down a spot this week after beating Stanford.
I won't say anything about Stanford.
I think another thing to keep an eye on is, are we going to see any movement for teams not playing this week? Like, is there a chance like Oklahoma slides down or, Miami moves in somehow?
Oklahoma slides down if Alabama beats Georgia.
Yeah.
Oklahoma slides down. That brings the next question. If Alabama loses, are they in? I'm a firm believer that Alabama win or losses in this playoffs.
Yeah.
I think they're a playoff team. I think they can hang with everybody.
If they lose and BYU wins, do you think they kick Alabama out instead of Notre Dame?
Nope.
No.
You're going to punish the SEC championship game loser instead of punishing Notre Dame?
I don't know.
That's crazy talk. I mean, I'm hearing you, and I'm just, in my opinion, that's crazy. Why in the hell then next year would any team accept a bid to the SEC championship? Just be like that. We're not playing it.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
Because that would incline more teams to take Notre Dame approach. Well, I'm not going to get punished when I play in my championship game. I'm just not going to play in them. Like if Notre Dame doesn't bench, that's their fault. If Notre Dame would have joined the ACC years ago, like there was talks, they would have absolutely dog walked the ACC conference this year, and they would have no worries in the world right now.
Yep.
They would be a locked top 6 seed probably.
Yeah.
It'd for sure be a lock for a home playoff game. So they played themselves. We had this discussion last year. They've played, and once again last year they obviously went on to the championship game, but they put themselves in this situation by rolling the dice like this. They almost have to go 11-1, 12-0 damn near every year because they can't go play in a championship game and bolster their resume up. Like they can't boost it up and make it better. So that's completely on them. I'm one that's telling you right now that if BYU keeps this thing close and they still lose, in my eyes, they're in over Notre Dame because they're then 11-2 with their second loss only being to the Big 12 championship team, who that would be both of their losses, who won the Big 12 and is going to be a top 4 seed. Those are their only 2 losses to the same team with the top 4 seed. So this is far from over. As close as we are to it being over, it's far from over. And I can only imagine the amount of anger that's going to be on some of these fan bases. Because to your point, if they leave out Alabama and they keep Notre Dame in, one, we're having a different conversation about if Kalen DeBoer somehow went missing in Tuscaloosa because they missed the 12-team playoffs in back-to-back years.
Yeah.
There are going to be some serious pissed-off fans there. You might find him at Penn State next year all of a sudden if that happens. And then Miami, I mean, Miami's more deserving in my eyes than Notre Dame, man.
Well, they beat them.
That's the point. They beat them. Like, how are we having this conversation right now when Miami beat them?
I agree with Colin's point. I think if Notre Dame should at most have 1 loss, if not go undefeated, to get into the playoffs. Like, punish them for not being in a conference. Like, force them to be into a conference. Like, why do they get the special treatment of just picking who they're playing? Like, I don't know. I don't understand why they're still not in a conference. I feel like everybody should be in a conference. You don't get to be the special team that doesn't play in a conference because you can kind of help yourself a lot more not being in a conference.
Isn't the only other independent team like UConn in football?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
That's UConn. We're talking Notre Dame here. That's UConn. And they've been this way forever, so I get it. Like, I can't say forever, but they've been this way for a long time. So I get it. They don't want to change their ways. And they have a sweet TV package deal. They have all those things. They kind of get catered to this a little bit. But when we start talking playoff teams or bust, that is where this conversation really takes a dive for me on Notre Dame.
What would be wild is if BYU if Texas Tech, what was I going to say? BYU wins and then Duke wins.
Okay.
Then BYU is in. North Texas is in. And James Madison is in.
Listen, let me add to your chaos. Troy beats James Madison.
So then,
if Troy beats James Madison, then it's North Texas. In this scenario, it's North Texas, BYU. And then
probably Notre Dame at the end.
I'm going to add a little bit more chaos. Say Alabama loses by more than 3 touchdowns. They lose bad.
Yeah.
We're going to throw Miami in there then?
If Bama gets blown out, yes, they are out. If Bama loses this game by less than 14, they're in. So,
all right, boys, maximum chaos. We want Duke to win.
Yep.
We want BYU to win.
Yep.
We want Alabama to lose big.
Yep.
Let's just go ahead and throw North Texas over Tulane, and let's throw Troy over JMU. Maximum chaos for the entire weekend.
Yeah.
And watch people argue for the next.
They would probably just cancel the playoffs. Probably cancel the playoffs and just go to like the old BCS rankings and just have a 1-2 matchup.
They're just going to say the Big Ten championship game was our national championship game this year. Thank you for watching.
And to that point, what I have wrote down, and something just happened with my screen. I am so zoomed in, so if I'm like lagging behind getting things up, I could see. I'm so zoomed in, I can see Dave's nose hairs. That's how zoomed in. So just know that. So I'm scrolling around my screen trying to make this work. But if Ohio State or Indiana, whichever one of those teams lose in the Big Ten championship, I still think they're a lock 1-2 seed.
Oh, for sure.
Or do you think Georgia jumps them at the 2 seed if they beat Bama?
Georgia blows them out, they can jump them.
If Indiana loses in a close game to Ohio State, I still think Indiana's the 2 because their only loss is to the number 1 team in the country in a close game.
Yeah, agreed.
I would agree.
In a Big Ten championship matchup. And not that those really matter, but they're going to matter in the second round of the playoffs. That's going to be the difference of if you're playing maybe conference champ number 4, who we don't know who that is yet, versus a Texas A&M or a Notre Dame. So I think that does matter. And you could make a case where the 3 seed, if you look at this bracket, is a better spot to be than the 2 seed. Because I would rather play conference champ number 4, which is probably going to be North Texas, or Lane Kiffinless Ole Miss than I would Notre Dame or Texas A&M right now.
Apparently, Charlie Weiss Jr. is back at Ole Miss right now.
He is.
He's able to coach. So, I mean, if he would not be there and you're telling me you're down your OC and your head coach, then I'm a little bit more concerned. But if you're only down your head coach, I understand how big he is to their team. But if you're telling me you're only down one guy rather than both of your offensive masterminds, I feel a little bit better about you.
I would agree. I would be inclined to definitely agree with that. So is there any other chaos routes we want to go with the playoffs? If there's anybody listening and they have any questions or any scenarios they want to throw them out, and we will try to break this down. Anything else you guys got?
Texas Tech gets blown out. Who's our number 4? Texas Tech loses. Who's our number 4?
Oregon. Not to just be basic and slide the 5 to the 4, but it's Oregon, in my opinion. No, I think it's an easy Oregon.
So how can we argue? You guys are gonna hate me, Colin and Bryant. How can we argue that the SEC is just top to bottom the best conference if we can potentially have 3 Big Ten teams in the top 4? Give me that.
Well,
I think it'd be A&M or Ole Miss.
There. Hey, look, that's a good rebuttal, Bryant. On your toes, I like that. Go ahead, Bryant. Why? I'm anxious to see why you think it would be A&M or Ole Miss.
A&M has the same record as Oregon does, but their schedule isn't as good, so maybe not them. Ole Miss, same situation. I feel like Ole Miss has a better resume than Texas A&M, so I think it would be between those 2. I don't know. That would be close.
I have an easy answer. My easy answer is because Nolan, you said top to bottom. The SEC has more teams in this playoff format than the Big Ten does.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. The Big Ten is very top heavy.
You want to talk top heavy with the top 3 teams? I'll give you the top 3 teams over the top 3 SEC teams right now this season.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you have I think the question to answer that is, do we really think this is Indiana permanently moving forward? Like, is this the new Indiana, or is this their inflated last year and this year a little bit, and maybe they go away next year? Or are we saying that Indiana is now in the new top tier of the Big Ten?
I think they're top tier.
Yeah, I think Cincinnati has just kind of lifted them up to different heights.
And he just got re-signed for a little longer, so I think that's huge too. If they didn't have him signed for an extended period of time, I think I don't know, because he might get bought out and go somewhere else. But
I say no.
Why do you say that?
I say no because I think they have got extremely – I can't say lucky. They've done their job extremely well back-to-back times of hitting on a quarterback. And I think this shows what having a true difference maker at the quarterback position that fits your scheme, that fits your offense that you're trying to run. I think this truly shows what that does for your team. I think where Indiana is better and has proven themselves more to me this year than last year is that they actually match up in the trenches a little bit more offensively and defensively than what they did last year. Now, I think that's the biggest difference in this year's Indiana than last year's Indiana. But I think Curtis Schwartz did what they wanted to do last year extremely well. Great game manager, didn't really make huge mistakes in big-time moments, took care of the ball. Dude played on a blown ACL in the playoffs. Like, this dude fit their mold. Mendoza comes in, fits their mold. Kind of the same guy, but with a little bit more arm talent than Curtis Schwartz. So I think this, for Cignetti to carry this on, I think they're going to have to hit at the quarterback position consistently, because I don't still think that they're going to get the same caliber elite players that the Ohio States, the Michigans, the Oregons. Look at USC, just got the #1 recruiting class. They're not that yet, but they've hit on the quarterback position twice in a big way.
It
All
showed.
right, go ahead, Bryant.
I was going to say it showed because if you go back to the last offseason, for Mizzou, it was basically Mendoza or Pabula. And Mendoza visited both Indiana and Mizzou and eventually chose Indiana. And we all saw how vastly different those players are.
What a difference that would make.
Yes, so that's how razor thin it is. So I kind of agree with you, Colin.
Here's my arguments. I got 2 points for you. They have financially committed to football. And if you think that doesn't matter, look at Texas Tech. They were 0% in any conversation whatsoever. They've financially committed to football, which means they're going to pay players top dollar, and they are ready to do it right now and to compete. My other thing, if you guys listen to some of our previous episodes this year, I had an argument with Bryant about the transfer portal. I think, I'm not sure if you guys will agree with me or not, I think the #1 quarterback flipping from Georgia to Vandy yesterday tells me one thing.
Look at that tool.
Quarterback.
No,
I gotta step in on. I absolutely hate Vanderbilt, like with a dying.
Yes,
dude. It's horrible.
No.
Their fans are the absolute worst.
Look at Dave. Look at him.
No,
it's ridiculous. They don't even know who Jared Curtis is.
They don't give a shit. They have the money to pay for him. They don't need to know who he is. They just need to know he can throw the ball, he can get to somebody, and they can win some games. Did they know who Diego Pablo was? Listen, I agree with them, and I was going to go.
You didn't either.
I was going to go to that point. Like I was going to let Colin get to talk about Indiana. Do we think Vanderbilt is on the come up? Because
it's the same.
It's the same concept.
It is the same exact concept. You're not wrong. It is the exact same team in the SEC version.
I don't know Vanderbilt's NIL budget, but listen, it's Vanderbilt. I'm sure they've got some money there. Like, there's no way they don't have money there. And I think, again, and kind of how we talked about at the beginning of the year, where I think college football is going to go, it's going to, unless something changes rules-wise, it's just going to be who's willing to dump the most money. And this shit is what it is.
That's my argument about the transfer portal. Because all of these quarterbacks, there's one person that can play at a time. Running backs, you can have 2 to 3. Receivers, 2 to 3. Every other position on the field will rotate. Game in, game out, play by play. Quarterback will not. So quarterbacks will be, it might not be top quarterback in the entire country, but if you have a top 25 quarterback that will transfer into you, I think there's always going to be 1 or 2 every single year that is going to be a top 25 quarterback in college football that will transfer. So if that's your only hole and you have everything else plugged up, go pay the man $4 million to play for you next year. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Now you have your goat as the head coach too.
Hey, look at Duke, man. They unloaded the truck for Darian Minson. They're in an ACC championship game.
Yeah.
Hey,
look how that worked out, dude. Look at that.
Not to mention, if you're a backup, if you know you're going to be a backup regardless, wouldn't you be a backup and make $4 million than be a backup and make $1 million?
Well, yeah,
Nobody's paying a backup $1 million.
It's going to happen, dude. It's going to happen.
Will.
I'm with Dave. That's going to happen.
It's going to happen. Like
it's going to, but it's not right now.
It's going to keep going up and up and up.
Look, Brian, let me ask you two like this to back Dave's point up. I would have loved to have had a $1 million backup quarterback behind Pabula when he went down. That was a little more ready to go than Matt Zowers.
Mizzou was dead until he got hurt.
Touche, fair, but he was already
15 minutes. All 15 minutes.
Not even 15
more
minutes.
Like 5 seconds.
Yeah, 15 minutes of maybe real time, but not game time. So, yeah. So
does that keep Matt Zollers at Mizzou now?
Yes.
Was he thinking about transferring out? And now he's like, hey, man, I got it next year. This is me.
He watched Pabula play. He watched Pabula play and knew that this was his job next year.
Yeah. It's his team.
Okay. So before we keep getting deeper in the weeds on this topic, because we're rapidly going down Interstate 55 right now at a rapid rate, let's reel it back in a little bit because we are going to do an episode and break down transfer portal conversations, the recruiting rankings that just took place on National Signing Day. Those are all things we want to get to, but not going to get to on tonight's episode. So let's recenter our focus to the conference championship games that are centered around the playoffs and get into those conversations. So, like I said, I am so zoomed in. Now I see Nolan's nose hairs. So just keep bearing with me. I'm going to try to scroll around and try to find these games that we're going to talk about. But the first game that we're going to talk about is the one that, honestly, for me, I'm looking the most forward to. And that's the American Championship game. And that is North Texas versus Tulane. North Texas sitting at -2.5. The over-under 66.5. This game is Friday, tomorrow night, the 5th at 7 p.m. on ABC. North Texas 11-1, Tulane 10-2. Talked earlier, we're pretty confident that the winner of this is going to be in. So let me kick it to Nolan first. What do you have on this football game?
Really want to talk about North Texas first. Their offense is just outstanding. And if I gave you guys guesses as to the leading receiver out of all of these conference games, would anybody have guessed Wyatt Young is the leading receiver out of every single conference game? He's third in the nation in receiving yards. He leads the nation in Power 4, Power 5 teams. I'm just going to call it Power 5 and include the American because they're better than the ACC this year.
I like that.
But I'm going to call it Power 5 with the inclusion of the American. He leads the Power 5 in average receiving yards per catch out of every single receiver. Everybody would think, it's Mekhi Lemon, it's Jeremiah Smith, it's Carnell Tate. It is Wyatt Young. That is all you need to know. They also have a running back over 1,000 yards this year.
Yeah, Caleb Hawkins is no slouch either.
It's insane.
Would you take how many teams quarterbacks in the championship weekend would you take over Drew Mestemaker?
Who would you take?
Playing this weekend?
Yeah, let me ask you that. Look, that's good. Put it like that, Dave. Who would you take over Drew Mestemaker that's playing this weekend at the quarterback position?
I want Ty Simpson. I want Julian Sayin.
Mendoza.
And that's it.
I want Mendoza.
Maybe Darian Mensah, but no, probably not.
No.
Darian, well, I want to save that, but Darian Mensah does not turn the ball over. So, but I'm taking Mestemaker over him. That's my point. Is there's 3 teams that we're talking about that are playing in this conference championship weekend that have a quarterback that we would take over North Texas's Drew Mestemaker. North Texas is the number 1 ranked offense for a reason in the country, for a reason. Dave, what do you got in this football game?
Man, I think it's really going to come down to North Texas. Can they throw the ball because they're more of a pass heavy offense versus Tulane running the ball. I think that's what who can stop who. I think is really what it's going to come down to. But again, I think North Texas is going to win this, and I think they cover. I just got a lot more faith in Drew Mestemaker. To your point, Colin, there's not very many quarterbacks that are as good as him. North Texas is just loaded on offense. And at the end of the day, yeah, maybe Tulane can put up some points, but I don't think they can outscore North Texas.
No, and their defense, North Texas's defense is pretty damn good too.
That's what I'm saying.
Better.
Yeah, it's very good at this point in the season. Brian, what do you got here?
I agree right with Dave. I think it's going to be who can show up on defense. I think both offenses are really good. North Texas, I think, is better. If somebody can get a stop on defense, that's going to build the momentum for their offensive personnel, and then I think that's going to win them the game. My question is, are we worried about the head coach's situation here? These are both going to be 2 new head coaches for this game.
Well, their coaches
are staying, right? For the game.
I'm pretty sure. I don't think Eric Morris is.
Oh, no, I thought he was there.
Yeah, I thought he was staying to coach the final game.
I thought both head coaches were going to be there throughout the playoffs.
I read that they were leaving.
Well, if that is the case, then if either one of them are gone, that changes things. But I'm under the impression that Summerall and Morris are both still there for this football game, especially.
I'm looking into it as we speak.
I'll fact check that real quick, and I can talk a little bit about this because if that's the case, we got to really dive into this a little bit more. But so for me, I think North Texas's defense. You got something on?
Both of them are coaching through the remainder of the season. So if they make it to the playoffs, whichever team, the head coach will also coach them in the playoffs.
Which is still kind of a weird thing.
Misunderstood that.
These players on both teams still know that their coach is gone. Like that, they still have that in the kind of the back of their mind that this guy's moving on from them. So are these players on these two teams trying to show out? I mean, obviously their coach knows who they are at this point, but are they trying to hop ship with their coaches to a bigger school? You know, are these Tulane players trying to prove a point here and get over to Florida? So that is still there for sure, to Brian's point. But for me, it's the North Texas defense because Tulane loves running the ball, and Jamari McClure is a really, really good running back for this Tulane team as of late. Jake Retzlaff is very good at running the ball with his legs. He's really good at extending drives. That's what he excels at. He's a pretty okay passer. Like, I wouldn't say he's great, but he's an average passer. But where he is very good with his legs, and I believe he might even be the leading rusher on this team. So they need to probably hone in on that early if you're in North Texas. Also, like these guys just said, this North Texas offense is just too good. Caleb Hawkins is too good. Wyatt Young is too good. Drew Messmaker is too good. This is setting up for a North Texas absolute beatdown, but at the same sense, with this, I'm surprised this line's as tight as it is. But let's not forget, dude, Tulane does have some dudes on the interior line, offensively and defensively. So that's where they're going to match up okay.
So let me, just because I'm just curious now, because we kind of brought it up earlier, is North Texas on the rise, or is North Texas going to get picked apart after the season, and then they're going to have to restart?
Here's the problem with any of these G5 schools. If you're really good, you're going to have a lot of players be gone. Drew Messmaker is about to get paid more than anybody. I would damn near bet it right now in this offseason going into next season. If that dude is on North Texas at the beginning of next season, fellas, I have been wrong about everything I ever knew about college football.
Messmaker and JKS from Cal. That's the two going to make a bunch of money this offseason.
Yes. So, Dave, you can't ever put too much stock in a G5 school because what the G5 schools need to do well, and this is where you separate your coaches of how good they are, is they need to go look at talent at the Power 4 level that doesn't play a bunch but gets a few snaps here or there, or that you have recruiting film out of high school on them on, and then get them to come to your school, showcase their talent for a year, and ride them for a year, and then ship them back off to a Power 4 school again. That's how these G5 schools have to have that mentality. Right. They got to recruit 2 and 3 stars really well, and then bring in the guys that don't play on the Power 4 schools at a full-time rate. Bring them into their school.
Well, those two guys are really panning out these last couple of years. Like, especially the quarterback. You look at Trinidad Chambliss. You look at Drew Messmaker was D2, right?
I don't even think he was playing quarterback.
He was not.
No. God.
Yeah. So, and that's where what's his name? Eric Morris, North Texas' coach.
Yeah.
That's where he has all these ties to all these quarterbacks that he's been a part of. Like it's a crazy amount of quarterbacks, and this is true. The dude is an absolute mastermind. If he's really been a major part of building up a lot of these quarterbacks, I forget the list. Like I'm pretty sure like Mahomes was on it. Cam Ward, John Mateer, now Drew Messmaker. Like the list is insane that this dude's attached to. So, but yeah, to your point, man, they got to have an eye for it, and clearly he does. So, I mean, where there's smoke, there's fire, and I'd say there's smoke there. So,
side note, did you ever see how he discovered him?
Which one?
Eric Morris discovered Messmaker.
I don't remember, but refresh me.
One of his friends had somebody that played against him or watched him play in high school, and they said, you got to watch this film. He literally showed it to him on a phone, like Huddle highlights. He said, yeah, we need that guy on campus now.
Hey, shout out to his friend. Does his friend have a job now? Because if not, he should.
I would hope so.
Anything else on this football game? This, like I said, this game's Friday night, 7 o'clock, ABC. Probably, arguably, one of the biggest playoff implication games that we're going to be having on TV all weekend. Good?
Good.
I said, you guys got to give me some verbiage because I can't see your heads right now. So, next game that we're going to talk about is BYU Texas Tech in the Big 12 Championship Saturday at 11 a.m. ABC. Texas Tech minus 12.5, over under 49.5. These two teams played once already this season. Don't feel like it was too competitive of a football game. I don't think BYU crossed the 50, but like 1 or 2 times, if I recall correctly. Not very competitive. I expect a little bit more of a competitive football game in this one. So, Dave, what are you looking for here?
Oh, man. I don't know what BYU needs to do. I mean, Texas Tech is just dominant. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure they lead the Big 12 in both total offense and total defense. And, you know, Big 12 is they're good. You know, they're not the ACC. Baron Morton, I think, you know, he's okay. I don't think he's amazing. I don't think he's terrible. He's, you know, all right. He's fits the job. You know, he doesn't need to be amazing because he's, you know, it's kind of stacked around him. I think what's the linebacker's name? Rodriguez. I can't think of the first name.
Jacob Rodriguez was up in the conversation.
I think if he can have a big game, I think it's going to be the same, very similar game to the previous matchup.
Dave, I got a question for you, and then Bryant and Nolan, you can answer this too. Would you agree that you think Baron Morton is the weakest link on this football team?
Yes.
Easy.
Yeah.
If Drew Mestamaker was on Texas Tech,
different ball game. I mean,
Texas Tech.
I'd pick them to make it past that second round of the playoffs.
Yes. Baron Morton's their weakest link on their football team.
Yep.
Like, I don't think it's actually close, honestly.
See, and I think that's, you know, that's my thing too. It's like when I look at BYU, I'm not looking at any players and I'm like, okay, maybe this guy could be an impact player. I mean, Bachmeier.
LJ Martin is their guy. Without
even is he that good though? Like,
yeah,
he's going to change the game by himself?
He can.
I don't think he will, man. I don't think
he's not Ashton Genty level, but he's good.
Yeah, for sure. Bryant, what do you got here?
I think BYU is going to have to lean on LJ Martin, like we talked about, and Barrett Bachmeier running the football. I think that's their key to success. And they're going to have to also try to slow down Texas Tech on the defensive side with the pass rush and stopping the run like they've been doing all season. If that's not going for them on either side, then Texas Tech is going to have their way. That's just how I see it.
Nolan?
In their first matchup, I don't know if you guys remember this, we were all texting each other. BYU was blitzing Texas Tech, and they were having success. It was actually a decently close game there for the first part of the game. And then all of a sudden, they quit having success on just a couple of their blitzes and just abandoned it altogether. That's when Texas Tech took over and just never looked back. BYU has to figure out how to put some pressure on Baron Morton. He's statistically one of the worst quarterbacks in the NCAA in a pressure situation. Just put him under pressure. He will make mistakes or he will get sacked and put him behind the chains. And then you're in the game. But BYU has to figure out, and this is going to sound crazy, I think Bear Bachmeier has to throw the ball. They tried to protect him, what it looked like in the first game, and just continually hand off or like a QB power, different things like that. They got to figure out how to throw the ball. If they cannot throw the ball, they will not cross the 50 more than twice like they did in the first game, and they will not score.
Dude, BYU has good receivers too, like Parker Kingston and Chase Roberts, I think is his name. The other one, I know it's Roberts. I think it's Chase Roberts. They have good receivers. But to your point, they have to trust Bachmeier to let it loose. You have nothing else to lose at this point. You have made it this far. You are right there at making the playoffs. Who gives a shit at this point? You got to let it all hang out. You got to at least keep this game close to hope that you can maybe jump Notre Dame in the rankings to get your hat in the playoffs. I agree. But where BYU does excel is if Bear Bachmeier and LJ Martin, they get that run game going, it allows the passing attack, the play action default, allows all those things to get going for the BYU offense. And I 100% remember the text, Nolan, that we were talking about with, okay, I guess BYU is just going to quit blitzing and quit doing what worked on defense. And that's when everything changed. So that is very, very true. I mean, that is what happened. BYU's defense, we talked about it before that game, I remember it specifically too, is a very physical defense. They play downhill. Kalani Sitake coaches very physical teams. There's a reason he was up for the Penn State job. He just decided to stay with BYU. He coaches very hard-nosed, physical football teams. Good for him, and they're going to need all of that in this football game to win it. Where I think Texas Tech is different is I think Texas Tech's run game is also really good. Jacoby Williams and Cameron Dickey are a really good duo. Where Texas Tech is also better than BYU is on the offensive line and the defensive line. They're the best team in the Big 12 on the O-line and D-line. They highly outmatch BYU in those two positions. BYU needs to limit the possessions because I also don't think Texas Tech's passing attack is that good. I don't think it's that good. I think BYU can hang around in this football game if they take the air out and play hard nose and keep blitzing like you guys said. I think this game stays close.
You think it matters that it's a neutral site instead of at Texas Tech this time?
I think it helps a little bit, but not
that
much.
game was 11 o'clock, right, when they played last time?
It was, but it was an insane scene at College game day.
It was. But I've been on record on this show before saying that I think that whenever you have a big-time game and if you play at 11, I think that's the best-case scenario for the opposing team. I think the night games, in my opinion, are where you really start to see fan bases get truly involved. Yeah. Maybe even the 2:30 games, because by the time it's the fourth quarter, it's dark, it's 5:30, it's getting late, and the people are getting a little bit rowdier. So I don't think so as much, no one. But it maybe a point.
Yeah.
At best.
Not enough to really matter, though.
No. Anything else on BYU and Tech?
How you talked about – I got one last thing. How you talked about the Texas Tech run game.
Yeah.
BYU's linebackers look kind of confused in the first game with some of the just not getting to the correct spot or getting walled off by some of the guards. If they have a better game and they can actually – I'm not even asking to shut down the Texas Tech run game. Just make it, 3 to 4 yards a carry, kind of the average. Don't let them get over that 4 yards a carry mark and make them really have to try and throw the ball and be a little bit more balanced. I think that's where you're going to have the best shot to win. So BYU's linebackers have to come up real big in this game. They've been great in every other game besides against Texas Tech.
Yep, they got to play downhill for sure. All good here?
All good.
Cool. Next thing that we're going to talk about here is the SEC Championship. This game does have playoff implications, and I think it's more so for Bama than Georgia. Talked earlier how Georgia's a lock in this playoffs, win or loss. I've made a case that I think Bama's a lock, win or loss. So this game is Saturday the 6th, 3 p.m. on ABC. Georgia, -2.5 the favorite right now, over under 47.5. Nolan, what do you got here?
Is Georgia going to get over the mental hurdle that is playing Alabama? Is
no.
My first question.
Yes, they will, but no.
It's insane. It's every time they play them, they tighten up and they can't do what they want. For Georgia, I think their best offense, I should say, has been in the 2 tight end sets, and then they throw the ball because everybody's coming down in the box. They're thinking old school Georgia football. They're going to run it at us, and then they just throw it right over the top. It seems to work really well for them. We'll see if it works well for Alabama or for Georgia against Alabama. Alabama struggles the most with those mobile quarterbacks. Stockton is decently mobile. I wouldn't call him a runner, but he is decently mobile. I'm just not sure he's mobile enough to give him that big of issues, though.
Dave, what do you got?
Man, I think that I'm gonna be real. I think this is gonna be a boring game. I think it's gonna be a low-scoring game. This is gonna be this is probably gonna be like a 7-10, 7-14. I really do think. Not to mention, I think Alabama's one running back is out. What is it, Riley, and then Miller's and then Jam Miller's questionable.
Yeah.
So it's like if you're down some running backs, I think Georgia's good, but I don't know, man. Alabama, I still got some belief in them. Ty Simpson, I think, can make it happen, but again, it just depends on the pressure, man. If he gets pressured, he's kind of just shrinks as a quarterback. But I don't know, man. I don't think it's gonna be that fun of a game. I think it's gonna be a slow-paced game.
This is gonna be an old school Big Ten game.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, fellas. Outside of the names and the emblems on the helmet, logo on the helmet, neither one of these two teams wow me.
No, they've done. I was looking at our notes.
What do they do good? What does either one of these teams do good? Answer that. Somebody answer that question.
Georgia is the best at squeezing the life out of you for 4 quarters.
There you go. I was literally
outlast you.
I was gonna say the same thing, and that is literally it. They hang around like a wart on your ass and just don't go away. and they pop you at the end.
Do you think it's because they're so deep at every position?
No, I think it's because Kirby is the best coach in college football.
I don't think they make a bunch of mistakes. They match up well against most teams. And as soon as you get tired or you make a mistake, their depth definitely helps because they have another 5-star waiting, but so does Alabama.
Yes.
But I think they don't make basically any mistakes. So the second you make 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 in a row, they take advantage, and all of a sudden that 7-7 game, it's now 14-7, and now you're trying too hard. Now it's 21-7.
To push back on that only a little bit, the last game, Bama no turnovers, Georgia won. Georgia lost by a possession. That's the difference in this game a lot.
Alabama 0 points in the second half last game as well.
Correct. Brian, what do you got here? We'll let you go.
I was going to say I agree with you guys. I feel like both these teams, besides the emblem on their helmet, just are not what we're used to. Like Georgia's defensive line is not like it was previous years. Alabama's offensive line isn't like it was previous years, nor is the rushing attack. So I think it comes down to in this game, whoever has the better offensive game is going to win this football game. Whether that's Gunnar Stockton, Zachariah Branch, and Frazier on Georgia side, or Stockton, Miller, whoever plays, if he plays, or the backup, and then Ty Simpson. So I really think both defenses are going to do what they need to do. It's just going to be whoever can move the ball efficiently, control the clock, and score some points is going to win this game.
You know why Georgia's going to win and cover in this game? Because Bama, it's going to be hard for Bama to beat them twice. It's the only reason. That's the only reason I feel this way. Because once again, I said this on Monday. Ty Simpson, as of late in the last month, has not been the Ty Simpson that we saw for a stretch of like 2 months. That we made a case was the best quarterback in the country, was going to win the Heisman maybe. Like, he is not that guy right now. And you know who's also not that guy right now? Ryan Williams is not that guy right now. Jeremy Bernard is the heart and soul of this Alabama offense. And Ty Simpson, because the dude said it on Monday as well. The dude is not afraid to go out and try to lower his shoulder for his team and try to get a first down. The dude takes harder hits than any quarterback in the country. So that's the difference for Alabama's team. Georgia's is just Gunnar Stockton. The dude just does enough when they're down 7 points to go put a winning drive, a game-tying drive together. Georgia's defense does just enough to get that one more stop, and then Stockton does just enough again a second time to go down the field and kick a game-winning field goal or a touchdown. They literally do just enough. Have you guys ever watched John Jones in the UFC? Does just enough to win a fight.
Yep.
That is Georgia football. They do just enough, dude. It's annoying as shit to watch because I don't know why they can't do it for 4 quarters and beat teams by like 30 points. But neither one of these teams rush the passer well. Neither one of these teams have an absolute stud difference maker on offense right now. They're just average teams right now. Offensive line, defensive line, just average teams right now. The difference is I think Kirby Smart is the best coach in football. So I don't know. I'm with Dave. This is a boring football game. This has got 17-14, 20-17, rolled all over it. Now that we say that, this game is going to be 56-48, and the over is going to hit in the third quarter. But this could be extremely boring. What's the chances that either one of these teams pull out like what Ohio State did last year, like make it to games that really, really do matter at the end, and then just pull some offense out of the hat and just absolutely pound teams into oblivion? Like, is that possible for either one of these teams?
No.
I think it's more possible for Alabama than Georgia.
Yes, I would agree.
But don't you think by Alabama's season on the line, kind of almost we would have saw it by now?
Yes and no. The no part is they probably go into the game thinking, hey, we're Alabama, we're going to crush this team, whatever. Yeah. Now they're going into it, hey, this is nut cutting time. SEC championship game, playoff games. We have to win. We have to make a statement. Ty Simpson, you've already talked about. I mean, Ty Simpson and Gunnar Stockton, they're not the same player, but they got that dog in them. It's the exact same thing. Do they just take the step up with Alabama? And they've already relied on Ty Simpson so much this year anyway. Do they just ride him even more and say, take us to the promised land, take us to the championship?
They have to. They literally have to. because I don't see it coming from anybody else. Anything else on this one? Buckle up. It's going to be a good game. It always is when those two teams play. So that's one good thing about it. The last main game for you here before we get into our two quickies is I can't believe we're having this conversation yet again about these two teams. The ACC Championship, best conference in football if you want to debate that. Saturday at 7 p.m. on ABC, Duke versus Virginia. Virginia, the betting favorite, laying 3.5, over under 57.5. Dave, what are you looking for in this barn burner of an ACC conference championship game?
Man, honestly, not a whole lot. I mean, listen.
Not a whole lot.
And I think everybody believes the same thing because I'm just going to tell you, I'm only about an hour from Charlotte. I considered going to the game. And I looked up tickets. You can go to the ACC Championship for $52.
$52.
This year you can.
Yeah,
You should
exactly.
go.
Exactly. And I'm like, I don't know. I think Duke will win this. Darren Mintz is kind of going to be the this is going to be his game to show out. Obviously, Nate Shepard at the running back position, I think, can do some damage too. But I do like Chandler Morris. Don't get me wrong.
I know.
Here's my thing. He's fun to watch. He's not fun to have on your team, but he will sling the rock.
He's not fun to watch. He's fun to watch in the sense of he's like Jameis Winston. He's not afraid to throw 5 interceptions, but he might throw 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's fun to watch because you don't want him on your team, but it's fun
fair.
to watch it.
Yeah.
You want to know who has a Heisman and who has a Natty? Famous Jameis, buddy.
That's a good point. So that was a really bad.
Who did he play for?
Ah,
I knew you were going to do that.
Famous Jameis.
Famous Jameis from Florida State's watching Duke and Virginia in the ACC championship matchup, eating W's.
Eating
them.
Jesus Christ.
Probably at Red Lobster eating some seafood.
He is a big crab leg guy. No one?
I want to know which Duke team is actually going to show up. In their wins this year, their 7 wins, they have 1 turnover. In their 5 losses, they have 11 turnovers. If they don't turn the ball over, it's easy. Duke wins. Big time.
Duke.
If they turn the ball over, they got no shot.
What's crazy, too, is most of their turnovers aren't on Darian Mensah. He's only got 4 picks all season. He's got 28 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Like, I think Darian Mensah is the real deal. Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that they struggle a little bit around him outside of Nate Shepard. Bryant, what do you got here?
Yeah, I'm right with Nolan. I also think on the Virginia side, you're going to have to run the ball because Chandler Morris is going to turn it over at least one time. If they can lean on the rushing attack a little bit, it's going to take a little bit of pressure off him not to be that guy and go try to get him the win on his back alone. But yeah, I think if Duke holds on to the ball and does not turn it over, they're going to have a really good chance to win this game. Virginia's going to be in it, but I think this is a turnover battle game, personally.
This is another game where they've played before. It was 34-17, if I recall correctly, Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a really firm believer it's hard to beat a team twice. That's why I like Duke here. And also that Duke-Virginia game, the first time Duke got off to a really poor and a really slow start. If they can just manage the start and get going a little bit, they're going to win this football game. Duke is one of my favorite bets of the weekend. You will see this on the Book It segment. I'm telling you that right now. I love Duke getting 4 points because you're going to buy the hook and make it 4 in this football game. I think Duke is the better team through and through. I think Chandler Morris is not good. I think the only thing that Virginia has for them is Jamari Taylor at the running back position. Nothing outside of the running back position for Virginia scares me. I also think Duke has the better coach in Manny Diaz. We had Virginia's head coach, Tony Elliott, I think his name, I'm drawing a blank. The hot seat coming into this season. No one said take the under on Virginia's 6.5 wins. Let's not get away from what we believed in before, fellas. We had the over on Duke win total of 6.5. That hit. And we wanted the under on Virginia of 6.5. Give me Duke. Duke's the better football team. Got the better coach. Got the better quarterback. Got the better running back. Give me Duke. No questions asked. Anything else?
Just got to hold on to the football.
Just don't throw the ball.
Please, dear God, hold on to the
They
football.
can be running through the blaster a lot this week.
If they wouldn't have some of those dumb turnovers, they would legit be playing for a playoff spot.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They would probably realistically they should be 9-3, and they would be in at 10-3 after the playoff championship or the conference championship win. Damn.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Maybe they still get in. Who knows? We'll see. All right, so we're going to move on to our quickie segment here. We have two for you. We do have a graphic for one, but not the other. So I'm going to let the one that we don't have a graphic for go first. So whoever staked claim to the Troy JMU quickie, go ahead and take it real quick.
I'll latch my boat to this one. I'll do Troy James Madison this weekend. James Madison is a 23.5-point favorite for a reason. They are very good on the defensive side of the ball and have done just enough to win a bunch of games in the Sun Belt. On the offensive side of the ball, Troy hasn't been as good, but they've been better as of late. Goose Crowder has came in for them at quarterback since early November and has played very well. Only has one turnover to get to 8 touchdowns. So he's going to have to play really good in this game. JMU, I think, is going to do what they need to do. And like I said, lean on their defense. And Troy's offensive line, I don't know if you've watched much. Troy looked at a little bit of film today. Their offensive line is by far the worst group on their team. So I think JMU eats and controls this game and wins big. Honestly, they need some help, but this game is kind of for a playoff spot. If JMU goes in there and win and the Duke wins, I think they're probably in. So there's a little bit to play for here.
If JMU covers the spread, they need one loss to go their way, and they're in the playoffs. No doubt.
Correct.
Nolan, I think the next quickie is yours, right, Nolan?
Yes, sir.
Big Ten championship. Told you earlier this would be a quickie. Most people don't think it should be, but I'm telling you right now, this game means absolutely nothing other than a Big Ten championship, which is a lot. It doesn't have playoff implications because these are the 1, 2, or 3 seed, however they dice up. Saturday, the 6th, 7 p.m. on Fox. Ohio State minus 4.5, over under 48.5. Both teams 12-0. Nolan, lay it down.
Real quick preview here because I think Ohio State's going to win pretty big.
I think they kick that ass, Nolan.
Letting you guys know, Ohio State's defense is number 1 in the sport. No questions asked. I think all 11 are going to be day 1, day 2 draft picks. I don't think Indiana has anything to compete with that. They got some dudes this year. Yes, fully aware of that. But I don't think they can compete with a true NFL defense back there being called by a true NFL defensive coordinator as well. It's going to be rough. But I will say I am really excited for these quarterbacks to show down here. I think the winner, if they have a really good game, the winner of this game will be your Heisman winner. I know I'm pretty positive. If I saw right, Dave, you're going to love this. Diego Pavia is now the odds-on favorite for the Heisman after last weekend. Somebody fact-check me on that. But that's a stat that I heard earlier today.
Hey, they're trying to play another game, too.
He is number 1.
I saw. Did you guys see that?
Mm-hmm.
Vanderbilt, I guess.
Nobody cares about Vandy.
Hey, Mizzou might as well go to the ACC.
Do what?
Kiss my ass, Dave. Yeah, they were trying to play another football game. They were trying to line one up against somebody.
I don't even know how that works.
It doesn't. That's why they're not doing it.
But more or less, preview game, Ohio State big. Book it.
Is this – no, Pavia on DraftKings is the number 2 behind Mendoza.
Number 2. Okay.
To your point, Pavia doesn't play this weekend, and Mendoza and Julian Sayin do.
So let's say Ohio State blows out Indiana. Fernando Mendoza does not do that good.
Julian Sayin wins.
Sayin wins.
Let's hear me out. Let's say it is
no scenario where Pavia wins, Dave, no matter how hard you try right now.
No.
What if they both don't do that great? What if they both do average?
Well,
who's going to win?
You know what my debate is?
I'd be 2 for 2 on Heisman's.
You actually would. That is true. That is absolutely true. And it could not be 2 guys that I have despised more in college football than Travis Hunter and Diego Pavia. So, you know what, Dave? You're right. I'm going to let you have your cake and eat it too if that happens. I tell you what. I tell you what we're going to do. If that happens, I will put down $100 on whoever you tell me to pick next year for the Heisman. I will put $100 on it. Book it. If that happens, if Pavia wins this thing. But I'm telling you right now, he's not, because whoever wins this football game, whether it's Sand or Mendoza, they just played the number 1 and number 2 team in the country. So even if they have an average game, that's better than the game that Pavia is playing at home on the pinball machine.
Hey, if Pavia wins a Heisman, Nolan said he's getting number 2 tatted on him.
No.
Bryant hates Pavia more than me, so attack Bryant with a tattoo for Pavia.
No,
All right, boys. You know what time it is.
not at all.
Nolan, we'll see you back here in a minute.
Yep.
You guys are going away. All right, Bryant. Back to you and me, baby. Back to you and me. It's the book it segment time. And I want to first start by saying this, Bryant. We went 9-5 last week to get our asses back to even to wrap up the regular season.
That was a week.
Yeah, we had 13 plays for you. If you don't follow our socials, it's your fault because we put a late play in for Alabama to go ahead and cover, and they did. So 9-5 last week. This week, we do have we made a play, and not obviously every conference championship game, but we made a play in most of these conference championship games. So, Bryant, give me the first one.
First one is North Texas versus Tulane. That's tomorrow. I think it's at 7. North Texas, we're taking them -2. Personally, this is my most favorite pick of the slate we have here. I think North Texas controls the game and wins by much more than 2 points.
Yep. Hey, book that. Shopping the books and buying the hooks. You can shop the books here in Missouri all the time now. Make sure you're buying the hooks if the site that you're going through allows you to do that. You know that's our slogan here. North Texas -2.5. Playing the North Texas -2. Book it. Love that play as well, Bryant. BYU versus Texas Tech. We're going to go ahead and take BYU +13 here. We think they keep it closer this time than last time. And I honestly think that BYU can get physical at Texas Tech here a little bit and kind of muddy it up and keep it close. 13 points is a lot in a conference championship game, especially when they match up a little bit better than obviously a JMU Troy game. So give us BYU +13. Book it.
Our next one is Alabama versus Georgia in the SEC championship game. Like we talked about, it's hard to beat the same team twice. We're taking Georgia -2 in that football game. Book it.
Duke versus Virginia. Love this pick. Said it a second ago. Absolutely love this pick. Give us Duke +4 for all the reasons we just talked about a second ago. Duke +4. Book it.
Last one is the Big Ten championship game. We just had the quickie on. Indiana versus Ohio State. We are taking Ohio State -4. I felt like this game would be more points than that, but it is 1 versus 2. We just think Ohio State's a little bit better, and we're taking them -4. Look at.
Hey, Duke, Ohio State, my 2 favorite picks of the week. Bryant's North Texas favorite play of the week. Let's bring these 2 other knuckleheads back in here real quick and have them discuss our plays with us a little bit. We need – hey, Bryant.
No, we can't do that.
You're right. Actually, you know what? You're right. That was really stupid of me. That's how we lose football games. But we need a 4-1 week here. 3-2 is the goal. You just got to get ahead. 4-1 is beautiful. 5-0, I feel like we're on the right side of all 5 of these. That's why we make the plays every week. We feel like we're on the right side of all those plays. But I'm really confident in all 5 of these, and I'm serious when I say that, which means say all 5 of them if we're that confident. So throwing that out there. But hey, book it segment, like we just talked about, evened up on the year, and looking forward to making some cash the rest of the way. All right, Bryant, let's bring these 2 knuckleheads back, and let's get out of here today.
Let's do it.
All right, gentlemen. We're back. Book it segment's over. You 2 losers are back and play with us. And I tell you what, we have done better when you 2 aren't involved. So we're going to hope that stays the course here. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we get out of here? I know it was a little bit of a long episode, but hey, a lot to cover. And there's a lot that we didn't even get to that we want to get to. So anything else?
I'm hoping for mass chaos.
Yes.
Like, let's get the BYU win. Let's get the Duke win. Let's get the Georgia blowout.
Let's get a Troy win.
And a Troy win. Let's just throw the wrench in everything.
I'd love to see people complain and argue for 24 hours. It would not make me happier.
Oh, dude, it would absolutely nothing would thrill me more than for that. With that being said, do you guys want to go Monday night?
Yes.
Monday should be good.
I would love to go Sunday night, but I'll still be out of town. I won't be back in town until Monday night. So Monday night would be awesome. And at that point, fellas, we will have truly the playoffs. And we can spend an hour on talking about the playoffs.
And we'll have all the bowls too, so we can maybe talk about that as well. Some intriguing
Yeah.
matchups.
We'll hit some of them good bowl matchups for sure. We ain't gonna leave nobody behind. We ain't gonna not talk
one
about
of those already. We have Missouri State and Arkansas State in the Xbox Bowl. That's going to be a barn burner.
Yeah, is that like a Xbox 360 or like an Xbox One or like just the original Xbox?
They have a new thing like a Switch where you can have there's a screen in the middle. It's that.
Oh,
that's all I know. That's the trophy. Is the controller.
Okay. Hey, what? Hey, you know what? Congrats to Missouri State.
Credit to the Missouri State, first year in the FBS, and they make a bowl. That's
100%.
Kudos.
I thought they were banned from making a bowl. Did they void that in year one of being in the FBS?
They must have, because I thought that was a rule too.
Yep. I didn't ever think that was a rule.
I thought it was. No one, aren't you a Missouri State alum?
Yes, sir.
Congrats to you. That's a big game, son.
I will be wearing my Missouri State stuff our next episode.
What were we thinking? Their over under was 1.5.
Dude, that was over by August.
We had a buddy bet it and then told me in the next sentence, this is the easiest money I'll ever make in my life.
Your buddy was right.
He was right.
That was literally sweat free by the second week of September or third week of September.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it was probably in the third week of September because I think they played USC like game one and got waxed.
Yes.
But anyway, hey, congrats to no one in Missouri State. Better season than Florida State. Anything else before we get out of here? I had to throw that in there real quick. All right, everybody. Hey, it's Deep Threat Sports Network. That's Bryant, Dave, Nolan, and myself. You can follow us on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Deep Threat Sports, XDT_sports_, Facebook, Deep Threat Sports Network. Also, Monday night, announcing our merch winners. So make sure you're tuning in Monday night. We will announce the winners on Monday night, and we will get you guys taken care of. We have not forgot. We've just kind of allowed a little bit more time. Monday night, I'm done waiting. We're announcing. All right, fellas. Until next time, peace.